This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of June 20th, 2022, brought to you by That's Good HR. I'm Wes Mills. A recent report indicates just 53% of Indiana high school graduates went on to further education in 2020, a drop of 12 points from 5 years earlier. Indiana Commissioner for Higher Education Chris Lowry says it will take an aggressive all-hands-on-deck approach for the state to reverse the steep decline. Lowry appeared on Inside Indiana Business with Gary Dick.
We've been sounding the alarm on this. A 12-point drop. This is about affecting individual lives. It's about affecting employers being able to get the talent they need, and really our state to thrive. We have an incredible economy in our state, and we need people who are trained and educated in order to meet that.
Lowry believes the numbers point to the need to look beyond traditional education approaches for both youth and adult learners. Officials will break ground this morning on the South Shore Double Track project. The $649 million project will add a second 17-mile track next to the existing line between Gary and Michigan City. The Northern Indiana Commuter Transportation District, which operates the South Shore Rail Line, says adding a second line will reduce travel time between Michigan City and Millennium Park in Chicago by 33 minutes. Plans for the double track project have been in the works since 2016. In addition to the new track, the project will add 4 bridges and 8 new platforms. Indiana tourism officials are betting big on efforts to bring more visitors to the state, and they're going to ask the General Assembly to make a big investment. The Indiana Destination Development Corporation has rolled out a $5.5 million In Indiana campaign, the first large-scale tourism effort for the state since the pandemic began in early 2020. Elaine Beadle, Chief Executive Officer of the IDDC, says the agency plans to ask the state legislature for a $40 million budget. The state has traditionally spent $3 to $5 million in tourism marketing. The campaign is meant to be the state's answer to successful tourism marketing efforts in neighboring states, such as the Pure Michigan campaign. Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand is brought to you by That's Good HR.
With one call to That's Good HR, your hiring challenge is solved. It's that simple. That's Good HR is the secret ingredient to strategic staffing. Have an HR, accounting, administrative, or customer service position to fill? Trust That's Good HR to make a match that's good for everyone, whether temp to hire, or a direct hire placement. For 22 years, That's Good HR has been handpicking employees and employers through a highly personal and authentic approach that delivers long-term results. Visit that'sgoodhr.com. Remember, the match matters.
This is Gary Dick. Each week, Inside Indiana Business Television brings you the people, places, and policies that shape the Indiana economy. Exclusive content you won't find anywhere else. Be connected with the full hour of Inside Indiana Business Sunday mornings at 10 on the IIB YouTube channel, or check local listings for the show in your area.
An Indianapolis-based manufacturer of LED lighting fixtures is expanding operations to Ripley County. IKEO LED Lighting says it will invest $25 million to establish a manufacturing and warehousing facility in the Batesville Industrial Park and create 30 jobs over the next 5 years. The first phase of the project includes renovating a nearly 50,000 square foot building over the next year. But the company also plans to build another production facility and warehouse over the next 2 years. A Pittsburgh-based development and management company has broken ground on a 210,000 square foot facility at the River Ridge Commerce Center in Charlestown. MR3 Development says it is marketing the industrial building for use by a manufacturing, technology, e-commerce, or food production business. MR3 Development, which also has an office in Indianapolis, acquired the more than 15-acre site in April 2021. The new building is MR3's first foray into the Louisville, southern Indiana market. Muncie-based Ball Brothers Foundation has announced funding for 33 projects. The nearly $2.5 million in funding includes projects dealing with soil and water quality, watershed planning, and water recreation. The largest of the Project Blue Ways grants is a $90,000 grant to Muncie Sanitary District for constructing up to 4 canoe kayak launches along the White River through downtown Muncie. The Ball State University Board of Trustees has approved a freeze on room and board and parking fees for the second consecutive year. The university says the move is part of an effort to keep costs affordable for students in the 2022-23 academic year. Indiana's unemployment rate remained at 2.2% for the month of May. The Indiana Department of Workforce Development says the state added more than 16,000 jobs last month. Indiana's unemployment rate remains well below the national rate of 3.6%. This report is brought to you by That's Good HR, the secret ingredient to strategic staffing. Visit that'sgoodhr.com for more information. I'm Wes Mills, Inside Indiana Business, Radio on Demand.